I love cookies. I love holiday cookies. I love all types of cookies. And Mrs. Fields is the cookie king or cookie queen. Mrs. Fields. Mrs. Fields is dominating the cookie market. And they're also doing great cookie gifts, like a package. I got a great one. It looked like a snowman. It was amazing. It was like a cookie package. It made me feel good, and it was full of
and each
cookies.
layer of your snowman had like different things in it.
It was
different
marvelous. Choose from Mrs. Fields' huge selection of holiday gift baskets and cookie tins, and spread the season's greetings we all love the most. The edible kind. Our listeners get 20% off site-wide with promo code VIALL at mrsfields.com. Just click or tap on the microphone at the top and enter promo code VIALL for 20% off your order. That's mrsfields.com, promo code VIALL.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a very special edition of Ask Nick Viall Files. I'm your host, Nick. Justin Long is with us, everybody.
Bitch.
Justin, I think everyone's just really excited to hear you just say he's just not that into you at some point.
Oh,
in this episode. But that's fine. I don't know. He may or may not. But either way, Justin is as good as you would think he is at giving relationship advice.
Oh, thanks. I wish I could follow it. I am that into you. I'm into this show. This is really exciting. I'm super. Did that sound not sincere? That sounds sarcastic. I mean it. I'm really excited
Do you
to be
do that?
here.
I do that all the time.
People often think like, I don't sell it enough.
I'm often a low energy, and I'll say something, and I'll be like, "Oh, that sounded like I'm a dick."
I've noticed, not that you sound like a dick, but that you go. I do the same thing. I don't like to. Oh my God! Look at the guy Pete coming down, washing the windows. You said a nice thing to my friend the other day on the phone, and you paid her a very nice compliment. And I noticed that you went kind of lower because you get kind of almost like bashful about compliments. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you not like receiving compliments?
What's the weird question? I don't, not in person, but I do like attention.
Yeah.
So, I don't like to make a big deal about compliments.
Yeah.
I like to like brush it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
So
I
didn't read into it.
Okay. All right. Good.
But
it is so nice to be.
You are.
It's so nice to be here.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. But yeah, you guys are in for a treat. It felt if you're a fan of Justin, which I'm sure many of you are, this will feel very meta.
And if you hate me, maybe you'll just be indifferent to me after this.
Honestly, if you do hate Justin,
you
won't after this episode.
They still might, but hopefully my goal is that they hate me less.
I have found that this podcast has helped me in that where people be like a lot of like they tune in to hate listen only to have been transformed, which is always, it's hard to get that message.
It's hard to convey that about yourself.
But like it's we talked about this last time you were here, the kind of backhanded compliment of I used to hate you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I hate you a lot less than I thought I would. I know. Well, and it's nice for you because I would imagine you get to control. You have much more control over how you get to present yourself.
Well, this is just me.
Yeah.
And so
you're not being all cut up. It's not. There's not some producer like an Ed Harris in the Truman Show pulling the strings.
Yeah. So it's just me talking. I feel like it's an opportunity, as I'm sure you do. Like with podcasting,
Totally.
It's just like this is a way to just, you and your brother talk, and it just humanizes you.
But it must be extra refreshing for you, having been through that other thing.
Yeah.
Creating this persona of.
It is nice.
Yeah, I bet. Well, you're very, You're
but when
really
I have found that when I do play, because on this podcast you talk long enough that you can show all your sides, and it's one of those things if I am the person they believe I am to be, even on the podcast, I'm like, oh, see,
I got him.
See,
yeah,
I got him.
Yeah,
I get that sometimes.
Because people have such strong preconceived notions that they are just they're projecting. They're waiting. They're cherry picking.
Yeah.
But that's what's nice about what you do is because you are very honest about your flaws and about the things that you've been through, and I find that that's a very attractive quality, and it's one that makes you, I think, really good at this. Is that you're accepting of your strengths and your weaknesses.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the only reason if I am good at this, is that it's just personal experiences. It's always comes in from like, it's not, I always like, it's hard to get advice from the person who's only had one successful, blissful relationship.
Right.
I mean, it's just like, what do you do when your boyfriend cheats on you? I don't know. My boyfriend's amazing. I mean,
exactly.
It's hard to,
and it's interesting because often on The Bachelor, we talked about this the other day. People are so much less willing to. It's harder to kind of show your flaws I would imagine when you're being filmed, and that's so rare to see on that show. And maybe because they can exploit it, they can exploit those flaws when you are honest about,
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's like you lose creative control.
Right.
Well, I think we should just get to it.
Yeah.
You guys will really enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe. Send in your questions at asknick@castmedia.com. Make sure to just check out Justin's podcast, Life is Short with Justin Long. It's great. It's one of the few I listen to.
That's so nice. That's a tough Ask Nick. You really have to hit the K in ask, right? Because it could be, it sounds, if you mumble it, it's Ask Nick.
And I do mumble, which is a challenge.
Ask Nick. Ask Nick.
Now I'm in my head.
Okay.
Now,
just food for thought.
Going forward, I'll only be like, Ask
Nick. Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm 28.
Hey, Kelly.
I'm calling because I am pretty actively dating 2 men right now, and it's been for about 5 months of casually dating these dudes, and I don't really know what to do about it or where to go from here.
This is perfect for you.
I actually thought you'd be the perfect person for advice. It's really hard. Some backstory. I got divorced in March and then started on the apps, started dating in June. Well, the end of June. It was more like July. And so I went on a bunch of Hinge dates the first week, and these 2 guys stuck. So I just kept dating them. Great. And I just thought eventually that they would fizzle out. But they're both still here.
That is so romantic.
So you just your game plan for finding love was just to let one die, and then you were just gonna maintain whatever left.
That's sort of in a way it makes sense. I mean, I know that's a funny soundbite, but isn't that kind of what happens to everyone? I mean, don't things either fizzle out or codify?
Is it
codify? I don't know.
Cauterize?
Cauterize? I don't know. No. You're an English teacher. Codify. I don't know.
So
what? Is there any issues with either? They're both just kind of average.
Yeah, well, actually, combined, if you take the qualities of both of them, they're the best boyfriend ever.
You like talking to one and having sex with another?
I've been there.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's welcome to my entire life.
Wait, so which one? And are you? Let me ask you: are you equally? What's the comfort level with them both? When you're around them, and in terms of just being yourself, which one do you think you can more be yourself with? That's the one I would go with.
That's such a good question. I feel like I'm different versions of myself with both of them, so that's hard.
Maybe they're both wrong.
Still enough myself with both of them. I'm much more intellectually and emotionally invested in one, and then physically invested in the other. But what's getting, and I was just fine with writing this forever, but they've both insinuated that they're not seeing other people.
Mm-hmm. So they've both attempted to try to define this relationship with you, and you're just
but not. They haven't tried that hard though, and so I'm
let's focus on one at a time. Okay, the guy who is just a really good bang.
Yes.
What?
Really good.
Really? Okay, he's phenomenal.
That goes a long way.
Yeah. It does. So, but
a lot.
So you got the good deed,
but it dies.
Yeah.
It fizzles.
So is it when you're not having sex with him? Is it torturous to hang out with him? Do you roll your eyes when he speaks? How bad? You know what I'm saying?
Is it stimulating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like medium. He's easy enough to talk to. Like, we have a good time, but
Do you make excuses to like leave? Like how to limit the time after sex?
I purposely go over kind of late so that it's like a shorter amount of time for sure.
What's his personality? Is he more just quiet?
He's just like really chill. He's just like a chill dude.
He's a hunk.
And
he's a hunk who never cultivated anything beyond his hunkiness.
Well, maybe not. Okay, now about like the cerebral guy who's kind of not. Is he bad in bed, or is he this not phenomenal like good dick?
He's like okay. He's fine.
Could he improve?
Mediocre.
Yeah, maybe.
What does your gut tell you? I always like.
No. Huh. Yeah, I know you liked that question. Well, my gut tells me that like neither of these guys are my guy. Like I'm not going to end up with either of these guys.
There you go.
But yeah, so how long do I do what I'm doing, knowing that it's going to be like a dead end? But then I'm not really interested in like finding that serious of a relationship. I just got out of a marriage, so it's.
Sorry to interrupt, Kelly. I was going to say, I wonder if maybe you just weren't and aren't in the right headspace to fully commit to a new thing, like a complete, in the way that like, you just got out of a marriage. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like maybe that's where you're at, which is fine.
I think that's true.
Smelling good, very important when you're around yourself or other people. Certainly when you're stuck inside. You don't want your body odor to be bothering the few people in your pod.
Or
right?
Yourself. Who wants their body odor to bother? If you can smell yourself, that's no bueno.
And each and every is helping make that possible in a very natural way, right? As you guys know, deodorant is sometimes, it's a necessity. But often what goes into more commonly used deodorants or antiperspirants are not safe at all for our body. And we're putting it on our skin, which is our largest organ in our body. It absorbs into our body, into our bloodstream. And it's not doing, we're paying a big price to not stink with most deodorants, but not with each and every. That's right. It's a natural deodorant that actually works for me. True story. I'm wearing it right now. And does not cause irritation. Nope. Each and every deodorant has been found to provide odor protection equal to an antiperspirant without the aluminum. No paraffins, no synthetic fragrances, not even baking soda. Just 6 simple ingredients like Dead Sea salt and coconut oil, plus essential oils and extracts that smell amazing. Each and every is vegan and cruelty-free, and all ingredients are sustainably sourced, so you can even smell good and feel good about using it. They even have new plant-based packaging. It's good for you, good for me, and good for the planet. I love each and every deodorant, and I know you will too. And right now, our listeners get 30% off their first purchase. Go now to eachandevery.com/VIALL today and use promo code VIALL. Again, that's promo code VIALL at eachandevery.com/VIALL for 30% off. I love clear skin. For myself, for people around me, it gives people confidence. Certainly, if you are a parent or yourself struggles with acne, it's always nice to have clear skin if you can do it. And Proactive is helping us do that. Proactive, you've heard us talk about it before, is the #1 acne brand in America to adults 18 to 34. I don't know if you guys knew that. Sometimes we think about adolescents and people in like high school, but also adults struggle with acne.
Of course.
No matter what type of breakout you have, Proactive has you covered. Proactive combines gentle skincare prepared with the best acne treatment for your skin. Proactive has 3 different systems designed for your skin type. We all have stresses in our life, from little to big stresses. With all the stresses in life, acne shouldn't be one of them. No matter what type of breakout, Proactive has you covered. And just imagine the gift of clear skin these holiday seasons to all your kids and yourself, your friends. If you have a friend who's complained about acne, who's just struggled with trying to find clear skin, give them the gift of Proactive. Proactive combines.
I use Proactive for years, and I don't know what I would have done without it, to be honest. Their system is amazing.
Proactive has 3 different systems designed for your skin type. Proactive Solutions, the original system sustainable for all skin types. Proactive Plus for sensitive skin types. And Proactive MD subscription strength for stubborn breakouts.
I had acne as an adult.
I mean, listen,
so it's hard, especially because I work on red carpets. It was really hard for me to go to red carpets and have like acne on my face, and I felt like insecure about myself. But I was able, with Proactive, be able to have better, clear skin, so I didn't feel so insecure when I was working on the carpets around all these people.
Yeah, we always say control what you can control, and with Proactive, you can take control of your healthy skin. Right now is a great time to try Proactive. For our listeners, you can get a special offer available by going to proactive.com/VIALL. Proactive subscribers will receive the Hydrating Duo as a free gift. That includes 4 hydrogel masks and green tea moisturizer. You also get free shipping. Again, visit proactive.com/VIALL to take advantage of this special offer now. That's proactive.com/VIALL and subscribe to Clear Skin. As far as these guys, it sounds like, all right, so where we're at with you is you've accepted that they're probably not your guy, but you like them both fine enough to continue hanging out with them, but have realized that you probably can't keep doing what you're doing with both because it's kind of getting to the point where you're trying to almost navigate 2 different relationships. It was easier a couple months ago. Now they're asking questions and you don't want to feel like a fuckboy.
And it's also not fair to them. Like, guys have feelings. Yeah. You know, their feelings are involved now. And maybe they're invested. Some of them. So they're invested in a way that maybe you're not, and maybe you don't want to.
Right.
You want to be cautious of that. And
so,
yeah,
I don't know if this helps you, but like often in dating, I felt that way. Great sex with some people, great conversations with other. It's like the great challenge, right? And so that is the goal. Find the person who does both. Now, in the meantime, I've made the mistake in the past of having great sex with someone, and it's not that the conversations were bad, it just wasn't as natural for other people, so I never really gave it a chance, right? And some people just, it comes over time. They may never be as dynamic or a conversationalist as other people, but like if you give them the benefit of the doubt or like really try to have those conversations, they might surprise you. Like sometimes I've realized with people, I've never like engaged in those conversations, and it just didn't come natural for me. And the biggest reason why we didn't have them is because there was really no attempt, right? Because what you have are 2 different options. So you're not even bothering with good dick. You're just like, well, I'll just have the conversation about stars and the universe and the meaning of life with this other guy. That's the role he's playing. Yeah. And what seems pretty clear is your gut's telling you that the guy who you have a good conversation with is like, you're just not that fit. He just doesn't get you going. You're not excited about him.
And the nice thing to know is that you can have both one day. I mean, like that's the goal, is to find. There's a great scene in Seinfeld where Jerry's playing. He has an imaginary chess game. Have you seen this one?
I'm sure I have.
With his penis and his brain. They're playing a chess game together, and sometimes that's the struggle. Sometimes it's like it's really one versus the other, and it's not. You can't deny either one and the importance of either one. But I'll tell you this: what do you call the good dick?
Yeah.
The good dick will, it'll shrivel, and it'll get old because those are just chemicals, and the chemicals are going to wear off. And what you're left with is the other stuff, is the stuff after sex that you want to get stimulated by. Yeah. So the goal, and I'm talking to myself right now, is to find both too. I'm sure I know it's out there for you. You're young. You're so young. You got so much time.
I think we're all in agreement that these guys are probably not your guys. So you just have to decide which one you want to see if you might get surprised about.
Yeah.
I don't know if Justin agrees or not. I think if you were to pick one right now, if you were to force me to say, Nick, who should I pick? I would go with the hottie. Only because it sounds like you are convinced that you're just, and not just, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's maybe not just about the sex with the brain stimulation. When you see them, you're just like, it's not that into it.
Well,
and that's
often
fine.
they go hand in hand. I mean, brain stimulation and and he would be so much more attractive if there was more there. You were more comfortable with him. I agree with you, actually.
And I just wonder if maybe the guy you like having sex with could get to that point where you might have some conversations. You're just not even bothering to go there because this other guy's filling the role. He probably won't. But maybe if you were to pick one, I would see if maybe that guy might surprise you, and then let the brainiac go, and then maybe in a couple months, if
Also, good sex is rare. It's nice to find that. There's nothing wrong with just like indulging in that for a little bit, especially when you're out of like a serious relationship where I'm guessing, there wasn't as much of that toward the end, and get your freak on. Why not? Life is short. And look how we're living now. I mean, just enjoy it. It's a beautiful part of life.
Yeah, I agree. Also, wait, that brings me to one last question. how do you break up with people that you're not like actually dating
Oh,
or that you're not like in a relationship with?
I'm tapping out of this one.
Guys
That's
are really
too-
bad at. Guys are worse than women. We just what we do is try to get you to end it with us.
That's
We
the
just-
gentleman's breakup.
Yeah.
That's called the gentleman's breakup. That you kind of like.
That's
slowly,
what I should do?
No, don't do that.
No, it's not good.
No, but it is a thing to do. Is like to kind of slowly pull away and like present certain obstacles, so that you make them do it. That you make them do the hard work, which is really selfish and.
Yeah, guys suck.
Yeah, guys do suck.
sucks.
Girls do that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have your own things.
You guys are no walk in the park. I would be just honest. I know it's hard. It's hard to be honest, but it'll feel so good to just be like, look, here's where I'm at. And I'll tell you what, it'll probably make both relationships better. You know, it'll make the sex. Honesty makes. I know it sounds cliche. I think it makes everything better.
It really does.
Just be honest. It'd be weird. It might be weird, especially if they're more invested. It's strange to see like a hunk cry.
You might not want to try. Like, if you're going to break up with the brainiac, just be like, this is not working for me, and I started dating someone else. Yeah, that's fine. Just say that. And let him go.
Oh, shit.
Now,
Yeah, he's a lot more attractive than you, just say. Physically. But it's purely physical. Just let him know that it's purely sexual and physical.
I don't like having sex with you.
Yeah.
Don't, that'll just hurt him. But the one you have like having sex with, I agree with Justin. If you're like, hey, here's where I'm at. I like you. I definitely want to see it where it's going. Sex with you is amazing. Every guy likes to hear that. But I think you can tell him like, for me, the next step, what this is missing is I want to talk more about life or whatever it is, you know, get him to make that attempt, right? Because maybe he might just be more of a chill guy. It doesn't mean he's not capable of doing that.
I don't know, but when when sex is good, and when you're like, that's when you're most comfortable after sex. You know it's been good. She's probably clearly very happy afterwards. Aren't you kind of like your most comfortable? And isn't that the time to just kind of be funny and be yourself?
Yeah.
And if he's not doing that, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna.
Well,
if it's
is it just? Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Is he funny?
Like,
Does he make you laugh?
is there anything other than the sex that you like about him?
Yeah, like he really is like a perfectly adequate guy.
Okay, not your guy.
I told you he wasn't my guy.
Yeah.
That's
If you seem pretty certain he's not neither of them your guy, so I would just ride out the sex, enjoy it while it's there.
There's nothing wrong with
yeah.
perfectly adequate. You know.
And when the guy who's trying break up with the one, and then the guy you want to keep having sex with, just be honest with them. It's like I'm fine. I mean, guys have said this to women all the time. It's like, hey, we can keep doing what we're doing, but I don't really want to take it any further. And if you're fine with doing what we're doing, I'm fine with doing it too.
He might love it.
He'll fall in love with you is what he'll do.
Right.
You might really fuck him up.
Right.
But you are being honest.
Because if we learn anything from The Bachelor, the male ego is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, it compels people to do crazy things.
She just wants to have sex with me, but that's it. He will...
You got to present it in a way that's not going to give either of them a complex too. That's kind of important because you got to have to manage them now too. See, I'm such a middle child. You don't want like the I'm going to call him a brainiac. I'm sure he's not you don't want the brainiac to think he's inadequate sexually.
We're being hyperbolic.
Yeah. And then you don't want the hunkiest of hunks to think that he doesn't have a brain. I don't know. It's kind of a balancing act. But you seem like a very empathetic, smart person. So I'm sure you'll be great.
But the biggest takeaway is I don't think there's any reason that you should feel any guilt for just like living it up. Be a little selfish right now. Like you're not hurting any of these guys, you know, they'll be fine.
Okay.
And when you have sex, wear a mask.
Yeah.
No,
Don't.
Well, one of them's had COVID already before we started dating. So he's like the safest person I could be.
So he has antibodies. He must.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically.
Which one?
So.
Yeah.
Which one?
That's a good question.
The hot one.
Oh, yeah. Definitely stick with that.
Because he was probably out going to bars, getting COVID, not because he wasn't using the brain.
He had a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes sense. It all checks out.
It all makes sense. Man.
I think it's okay to be casual about this. Maybe it's probably time to let one go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who in the movie, let's say, The Outsiders, does he look most like? In the cast?
Which one, the hot one?
Yeah, in the cast of The Outsiders.
It's like, he's like
Rob Macchio.
dairy with a beard. Like,
Matt Dillon? Who's Derry? Which was
No,
Has he-
Swayze.
Oh,
Patrick
Swayze with a beard?
What?
Keep
Oh my
him!
God! Yeah.
Oh, bang away.
Swayze with a beard.
Yeah,
Christ.
it's a good beard.
Is it?
Wait,
know?
so he's not just he's.
Swayze.
So is it just about the sex, or he's just so hot that you're just like you? It's so.
Aren't you so curious to meet him?
Yeah, I want to see his face.
I want to meet him. I want to talk to him.
I'll send him your way when we get further along in our.
I
weird
think
process.
really, just really try to ask him some mentally stimulating questions. Try to have the conversations you're having with the other guy and see if he can even keep up.
Okay.
And if
Yeah,
not,
I
have
can do
sex
that.
with him for a while, and then
Okay.
I don't know. I always think like if it's I look back at like relationships and it's the one that I've really been myself with, the one that I've been able to relax, laugh, be comfortable
Totally.
with. It's not always necessarily like the smartest
Safe.
one or the safe. Yeah. That goes I've
Yeah.
learned it goes a long
as
way.
it, yeah, like you can be yourself and not worry about what they're constantly thinking about you. That's
And the
the
nice
dream.
thing to know, Kelly, is that you said it yourself. Probably not, maybe not either of them, but as long as you're not putting pressure on yourself and you're having fun, this is the time. God knows we all should be having fun.
Just out of curiosity, who ended the marriage?
Me.
Yeah, I was gonna guess that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you seem like you
Why?
you have this kind of sense of you really want to find your person, and it sounds. I would have
Yeah.
guessed that your marriage was just probably you got married a little early, and it kind of was
Mm-hmm.
more on cruise control, and then you kind of took the brave.
Yeah.
Like you left, and he was fine with cruise control.
Yeah.
So, Kelly-
Nick, you're so good.
So that's what I'm saying is don't fall into the same trap.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like
Perfectly
be
adequate.
selfish.
Yeah.
Don't go for don't settle. I mean, settle in
Yeah.
10 years. But I'm just kidding.
And
You're super young.
And the fact that you had the courage to do that with a marriage means that you're, I'm sure, more than equipped to do it with like some casual thing
Yeah.
to tell people.
yeah.
Yeah, if you can end a marriage, you can break up with the other
Do
guy.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, get back to class.
Okay.
Best
Thank
of
you,
luck.
guys.
Let us know how it goes.
Thanks, Kelly.
Okay.
All right, take care.
Thanks. So nice to meet you guys.
Ooh, truffle oil. Hot sauce. Oh, two things in my life I can't live without. And you don't have to. You can combine two great things in one with Truff. That's right. Truff is a luxury hot sauce that makes every meal 5 stars. Crafted with a signature blend of red chili, black truffle, and organic agave nectar. And savory spices, each bottle ships pristinely packaged and ready to gift. Topped with Truff's eye-catching black diamond-shaped lit.
The packaging is beautiful. It comes in a box. It's got like the bottles in it. They're glass. They have the most beautiful lids.
What a great
It really
gift.
is such. It comes ready just to put under the Christmas tree or give as a gift.
It's more than a hot sauce. It's a showstopper, and it's like nothing you've ever tried before. So if you're an average cook and want to make yourself look like an amazing one, Truff. Boom. They'll be like, how did you, oh my God, what am I tasting? You're like, yeah.
It is a game.
And then you're just like, it took hours.
Sauce.
It's a secret recipe. I can't share it with you. I'll have to murder you if I give it to you. And they'll be like, oh,
It
well,
is
just
a game changer. Breakfast has never been the same since I've gotten Truff. Breakfast burritos.
Great on eggs. Yeah, it's really great on anything, anything
good.
anything you want to put hot sauce on. Pizza. Whoo, baby. That truffle hot spicy pizza.
So
Wow.
good. Oh,
They've
pizza.
even been just so you know, Oprah likes it. It's one of Oprah's favorite things. So need I say more? Don't take my word for it. Take Oprah's. See for yourself why Truff is the biggest hot sauce on Instagram and TikTok. Get 10% off site-wide when you use promo code VIALL at truff.com. That's 10% off everything, including White Truff VIP Box and Truff Variety Pack just in time for the holidays. Just shop truff.com. That's TRUFF, F as in fantastic.com, and use promo code VIALL. I'll be honest. I've been staying home, having a glass of wine, usually every night. Don't judge me. and I don't even care what you think. But you know what I'm always doing after my glass of wine is having my liquid IV to make sure I still feel right and vibrant in the morning. I also drink it before and after workouts because you can never be too hydrated, and sometimes drinking the appropriate amount of water is just goddamn exhausting. But thank God for Liquid IV. It's like drinking 2 to 3 times the amount of water you need to stay hydrated. It's got a bunch of vitamins like vitamin C. It's got potassium in it, more potassium than a banana. No artificial flavors, no preservatives, less sugar than an apple. And I love juice. I do. But there's so much sugar in juice, and Liquid IV tastes like juice without the sugar. It's like, need I say more for all you juice drinkers out there?
And they've got new flavors, Nick.
New flavors. I still love
Sweet and juicy guava, crisp watermelon, apple pie for the holidays.
Baby, that's right. Also, they're doing great things. In response to COVID-19, products are being donated to hospitals, first responders, food banks, veterans, active U.S. military, over 3 million servings in total so far. So you're supporting a great company with a great cause and hydrating your body at the same time. Liquid IV is available nationwide at Walmart in the beverage section, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code VIALL at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use promo code VIALL at liquidiv.com. Get better hydration today at liquidiv.com, promo code VIALL. How's it going?
Hi, I'm Brittany, 29 years old.
Hi, Brittany. How can we help?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on today. I'm a big fan of both of you guys.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Brittany.
I listen to this podcast a lot on drives for therapy, for relationship advice, and I have definitely taken some of the things you have told other callers into consideration in my own life. And recently I've been going through a lot, and I just had maybe like a feeling like I wanted to reach out and get your advice, because I feel like you have a lot of experience with different types of relationship issues that people call in about, and maybe you can give me a little bit of advice on how to kind of handle what I'm going through.
I'll do my best. Yeah.
Okay. So I have been dating a guy for about 4 months, probably like officially, exclusively, whatever you want to call it, for like a month, but we've spent a lot of time together. And in those 4 months, I was also taking care of my father, who was very sick from a liver disease.
I'm sorry.
And, it was a lot of ups and downs at home with my dad. Some days he would be good. Some days he wasn't so good. So that would obviously affect me emotionally. And I did my best to deal with it. So the guy I was seeing, he lives about an hour and a half away. So I would drive there to see him. He would drive here to see me. Well, then in the last 2 weeks of my father's life, he went into hospice care. And so I spent most of my days in the hospital with him visiting. And in the evenings during those 2 weeks, I was having to drive to stay at my boyfriend's house almost every other night. And he wasn't able to come and stay with me during those 2 weeks because he was opening a new business and he had a lot going on with his job and whatever else was keeping him busy. So it was just a lot, physically, emotionally. I was dealing with a lot, but also needing that comfort and that company of his. So I just would do it. I would just drive and not really try to argue about it or whatever, because I just needed someone to be there, with me. So I did that. And then the night that he passed away, the nurse or the hospice company called me and told me that they were pretty sure he was going to pass away. And if I wanted to come and say goodbye, I could. But I had FaceTimed with him a couple times, and the condition he was in and not being able to go in there and see him those 2 weeks because of coronavirus. Yeah. Not those 2 weeks, but a couple of days before he passed away, they had kind of quarantined him, and I wasn't allowed to actually go in and see him. So I would FaceTime with him. And then the day that they said I could come and say goodbye, it was only like 15 minutes and he looked terrible and he wasn't able to speak. And so I made the decision on my own to not go because I was alone and my family wasn't here. So I stayed with my boyfriend. And about 4 a.m. that morning, I get a call, being told he passed away, and just kind of going through those emotions. Well, my boyfriend woke up with me, stayed with me, kept me, as calm as he could. And it wasn't as bad as I guess I had anticipated it to be, because it was kind of like a relief when he passed on and he wasn't suffering anymore. And so I spent quite a few days with my boyfriend after that, before the funeral and everything, and things were going great. Well, then just last week, he had a lot going on with his new business, and I was trying to kind of keep my mind off things and help him and do a lot for him and just be there for him. And it just felt like I was giving 95% and he was giving 5%. And I've kind of had those feelings before the death happened and during the other times, like when I was dealing with a lot. And I think I got to a breaking point. And this was like 3 days ago now. And when I wrote this email, I was contemplating breaking up with him. And since then, I have actually broken up with him and just trying not to contact him and trying to just move forward. But for me, my question was, I have dated guys longer than this, and I've been in way more serious relationships than this before, but something feels different about this one. And it just is really, really, really hard for me to let go of it. And I wonder if that's because of like the trauma that I kind of had with him, or do you think it's just, I know I had a very, very strong like connection with him, and maybe it was just like the chemistry, or maybe it was more than that, but I don't know if it's because I miss the way he made me feel in all those times I needed comfort, or I miss, or is it because of what I went through when he was there with me?
That's such a good question. I don't know are you equipped to, have you dealt with major loss like that?
I haven't. Yeah. So
I'm so sorry, Brittany.
I've been fortunate so far
Thank you.
that I haven't had to deal with any
Yeah.
major loss like that. But as far as your, the relationship, it sounds to me like with everything you've dealt with, you've been able to have a pretty clear head about the possibilities of your feelings. You seem very in tune with your feelings, or at least, you are open to considering, how you feel, how is this affecting me, things like that, where it would be fair even if you didn't, you know what I'm saying? It would be fair having dealt with a tragedy to just respond, emotionally with however you're feeling, because it's hard to process those feelings, but you seem to be almost hyper in tuned. And I guess I don't have answers of like what he meant, to you or this guy, but I think it's, the biggest thing that you said about this relationship is it felt like you were doing 95 and he was doing 5. That's not even like 60-40 or 70-30.
Yeah.
That's a drastic thing, right? So it does seem safe to assume that it would be like when you not have dealt with that. And I've dealt with emotional stresses with my family. And even with that, like I remember a long time ago, my mom had some pretty serious surgery, and she's fine now. But it was serious and it was scary at the time. And I just liked having someone to talk to. It's just nice to have those people. So the fact that he was there, right, makes a lot of sense that you have that connection. For me, it sounds to me that the fact that you were able to end this relationship, despite him being there for you, despite this, I think says a lot about deep down you knew that you probably deserved better in a relationship. You deserved someone who was willing to give you more than 5% of their time.
Especially in the wake of such a loss.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were with somebody and they were dealing with this, they were struggling with this, trying to navigate these like crazy uncharted waters of like losing a parent, that's when you kind of have to step up and be... that should be an inverse ratio. He should be giving 95%.
Yeah, and
you should be okay. He should be okay with you giving less.
Totally. And it sounds like he was just not a total asshole because he was
there and
like you can come by, you can spend the night.
Right, but like I mean I'd be driving I don't know. It's like,
it's an hour and a half, and I would be driving that.
That's crazy.
In the evenings, and then coming back in the mornings.
That's crazy.
And I would sometimes, like when my dad actually was still living with me, and he wasn't able to like get up or anything, I would have to hire someone to stay with him so I could go see my boyfriend.
No, that's you're intellectualizing it, and I think and it makes total sense. And that's the only thing I can do in this with your predicament is we can both intellectualize it, and you say things like you're dealing with a loss, so perhaps having somebody there solidified the relationship, but I think the most important thing is just how you're feeling right now, and to honor those feelings. And it sounds like you're definitely feeling like he is not the person that you're supposed to be with. I mean, he doesn't sound like he's really showing up in a way that a true partner should in a time like that. And that says a lot. Think about like the rest of your life. Think about like if you have kids or any other tragedy. I mean, that's a real litmus test for a relationship.
That's what I was about to say. Just imagine like, you have kids with a guy, whatever problems, like this is how he approaches like, serious problems where he doesn't necessarily step up. And it doesn't really matter that you guys just started dating, Yeah,
like, that's true. Yeah. If anything, that might be, that's kind of like the time where you really are.
You overdo it, Like, I'm going to show her how amazing I am. And you
best foot forward.
You lose the energy and 5 years later.
There was a point like I think it was like 2.5-ish months in where we were having some issues just in me, like kind of questioning like where we stood. And to be honest, like in a normal time in my life, I really wouldn't be sitting there asking someone like, what is this? But I think that I knew that my dad was going to die soon. And I basically came to him in person and we were having a conversation about what I was going through. And I said, look, I can feel it. I know it's going to happen soon. I'm just telling you now, like, if you want to get out of this, get out now, because I didn't want to go through the death and the grieving.
What did he say?
And then him leave me in the middle of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What did he say?
And I remember in that moment, he said, well, I don't know, how you're going to handle it or how I'm supposed to help you in that moment, but I do not plan on leaving you and I don't want to lose you. So like, I'm here, I'm in it, I'm staying.
How did he handle the breakup?
Yeah, good question.
So basically how it happened, I mean, he's very bad about talking on the phone and talking in person. I guess he's just not confrontational. And so he always texts me things. That's kind of how our relationship has gone. And I told him many times, like, I really hate texting all the time. When we have a serious conversation, can we just talk on the phone, like just for 5 minutes? And he basically, I drove in to help him with his grand opening. Then afterwards, he told me I was going to come and eat with everyone after. Well, then he calls me later and says, hey, you think you could just go wait at my house for me while I go eat with the guys and I'll come home after? And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go eat because I haven't eaten, right? And then eventually I was just kind of like thinking about it, like, okay, I'm not even going to his house. I'm not going to see him tonight. I'm just going to go and stay at my friend's. So I go stay at my friend's house. Don't talk to him all day the next day, waiting for him to text me or call. And then he just sends me a text that evening and says, guess we're done with. Hope you had a great day.
How old is he?
29. Same age as me.
Listen, he's just really selfish. He's just a really selfish guy. And
not the same emotional age.
Yeah. And we can all be selfish, but like you never want to date someone that you have to constantly point out how selfish they're being. Because real selfish people never know. Because if you're really selfish, he's thinking, I have to do this. This is my opening store. How can you not be supportive of my, like, that's selfish people, like, never take the time and go, wait, hold on. Yeah. Am I only thinking about myself right now?
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. And when he says things like, oh, no, I'll never leave you or whatever, I want to be with you, he's saying, because you,
he said, I don't want you to leave me.
I don't want you to leave me. Yeah. Or like,
something like that. I don't think he said, I don't want to leave you.
What did he say? I'm not planning on leaving.
I don't plan on leaving. Like that was what he said. When we had
so what he's telling you is, I will date you, and you can date me on my terms.
Yeah.
Like this is how I'm going to go about my life. This is my schedule. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Feel free to fit in.
But I won't sacrifice.
But I won't.
Yeah.
And as Justin said earlier, nothing was more apparent than while you were dealing with, your father dying, that he didn't feel any pressure to step up above and beyond. It was still more like, I will do just enough so, your friends can't accuse me of being a total asshole. Mm-hmm. Like, I will wake up in the middle of the night when you get the call so you can cry on my shoulder. He was there.
Yeah.
But would he have driven? Like, had you not been together,
right.
Would he have like, I'll be there in an hour and a half? Because that's what like a loving boyfriend would do when they're, when their girlfriend.
And it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. When you really love somebody and you do stuff like that, it doesn't feel like you're being put out, or it just feels natural.
You're like, please let me come over.
It feels good.
When they're like, no, I'm fine. I'll be okay. You're like, I'm not asking for your permission. Totally. I will be there.
Totally. That's what you deserve. That's what everyone deserves, is somebody who's going to be selfless when it comes to your your condition. And your condition was really, you were at, I mean, that's got to be a low point in a life, is to deal with that. And he should have been stepping up, and it sounds like he was doing the bare minimum. And that's a real limit. That's like, that reveals such a truth about that person, you know? That is, it's so good that he revealed that. It's so good that he didn't put on any sort of act and go against his instinct and step up in a way that was unnatural for him, because you got to see who he really was. Anyone, when they're trying to have sex with you, can say whatever and be the knight in shining armor, but that's a real moment of truth, and that revealed who he was, and you got to see it, and so you don't waste any more time with somebody like that.
Yeah, you're right. I know. I'm just
you're lucky.
Struggling with the post breakup.
Of course.
Yeah. But here's the thing. While you're struggling with it, I think you need to take some time, and what Justin just said is, I think you should give yourself a lot of credit, right? I think you shouldn't discount how hard this was for you to do in a time where it would have been so easy for you to just be like, you know what?
Ride it out.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hang out with this guy because I don't feel alone. And deep down, I know I deserve better.
Most people do that.
That's what people do. People do that all the time in far easier situations, and you were able to still consider what you deserve in a time where it would have been so easy for you to just dismiss. And I think you should give yourself a lot of credit for that, and that should make you feel really good,
really brave
about yourself.
Your dad would have been proud of that. Your dad wouldn't want you to settle for a guy like that who's not going to show up. That's he showed up, I bet, for you, and that's an example of a man that you should really try to find, and you will find.
Yeah,
because you recognize it deep down.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying
I think that you should definitely feel pride, and I think that's a good thing, especially when you feel sad or alone.
Any breakup's hard. Even with, you could have two strangers like us being rationalizing this and giving you encouragement, and I think you're totally right, Nick. But it's another thing to be in it and to be day to day having to look at the phone, and I'm sure he's texting, and it's fucking hard. It's always hard to go through a breakup.
Especially when you feel that loneliness or you get sad.
Yeah.
And he'll send a text what will feel like the worst possible time.
He'll apologize, he'll manipulate, but don't believe it. He already showed himself.
Yeah.
I would stick to your guns and ride it out. It'll get easier and easier as the days go by.
Just kind of take it easy on yourself, you know? And again, I think it's really important for you to constantly remind yourself that what you did was really hard and you deserve a lot of credit. Feel free to give yourself a lot of credit. People give themselves bullshit credit all the time. You have the right to be you know what? Good for me.
Yeah.
You know?
You are weathering.
When people say you do such a great job or you did so much for your father, it just never felt like I was doing enough. It's hard to accept those compliments.
Well, now's the time to say thank you, and you're clearly not a cocky, arrogant. You're allowed to say, you're allowed to feel pride, and I think pride for yourself, pride for the way you take care of your dad, and pride for what you deserve going forward. And I think that will make it easier, despite, I'm sure like Justin said, it's going to be hard and you'll get sad and you'll feel lonely, but I think that'll help you through it.
Yeah, just remember your self-worth. Remember, because you're worth a lot more than whatever this guy is showing.
Thank you so much.
Right.
I'm so excited I got to talk to y'all today.
Thanks, Brittany.
Brittany, thanks so much.
Real pleasure talking to you.
You too. Have a good day.
All right, take care.
Wow. Man, that is fucking brave.
Yeah.
Strong person.
How's it going?
Hey, it's Christina. I'm 25. So basically my question is, I've been with my boyfriend for 2.5 years. We have a good relationship, but of course, I always hear this all the time. We have a good relationship, but every time we get into an argument, he kind of basically gives the one and all, we're breaking up. So this kind of started in the beginning of the year, December 31st.
Does he actually break up with you, or is it just a threat?
In my heart, I feel like he's breaking up with me, but they end up being threats. So what happened was New Year's, he broke up with me because I was sick. I was sick and I wasn't able to spend time with him on the holiday. So he wanted me to come over to his house so he could take care of me, but I couldn't move. So he was just like, this is it, we're done.
How old is this guy? I'm sorry.
He's 25.
Okay.
Is he a
Yeah.
despot or like some a tyrant of a third world nation?
No,
Oh, sorry.
no. I that would be. I mean, I know it's really extreme. I don't know why I did it. I mean, I regret. I ran back to him on day 3.
Yeah.
Begged for him. Thought I was in the wrong. Then we worked on it, and then April. COVID happened, the pandemic. We didn't see each other for a while, maybe 3 months. He unfortunately got COVID, and he wanted me to come over to his house. He got sick, yes.
The tables
so
have
then
turned.
the tables have turned, which I have told him.
What a bizarre thing, even to be like, you got sick.
It's I can't judge you though, Christy, because a similar thing happened to me once. I was in your position where,
Really?
yeah, some people, and I explored this with the person that this happened to. Some people have. I'm curious, did you ever explore where that reaction came from? Because some people have an issue with sickness and it's a sign of weakness. They assign certain feelings to it from their childhood, whether or not when they were sick, the parents were neglected them. It might be something like that.
I did notice that me and him have very different ideas on how to love each other.
Yeah.
His idea of love is basically if I'm sick or he's sick or whatever the case is, we should be able to drop anything because our love for, my love for him should be that great where I should just drop anything. And then I don't believe in that. I just feel like we should, if you really love me, you wouldn't put me in the position of choosing anything.
It's not very
else.
loving. Yeah. Is he very close with his mother?
Yeah. Yeah. So then what happened was, COVID happened. I didn't go to his house because obviously I didn't want to risk my family who I live with, for them to get COVID. And, his mom called me, asked me to come, which is funny that you actually mentioned the question. I didn't end up going, but then over the summer, he actually had like long lasting effects of COVID. So he has like gastrointestinal issues now.
God.
So now, from time to time, I go over on some weekends or not, like, to just be there with him. But now, recently, our relationship, we basically like progressed. Like, oh yeah, he basically wanted to break up with me in April because I didn't do that. We didn't talk for 2 weeks. He didn't text me on my birthday. I turned 25 this year. And then, he apologized. And then now, I haven't gone out at all during quarantine. Like I basically stay in my house, don't go to like dinners or whatever. And I went to a dinner this Sunday with my uncle and my family, quarantine style, social distancing, wearing a mask. This is the first time I've ever gone out. And I didn't tell him that. I didn't communicate that with him. And he found out because he called me and I said, sorry, I'm with my family at dinner. And basically, because I didn't communicate that with him, he wanted to break up with me. And then the overall reason why he ended up breaking up with me was because I didn't drop dinner with my family to go fix things with him. Yeah. So I didn't go over to his house.
Can I ask you a question? So I'm going to go back to New Year's Eve or the holidays. Did he break up with you because you were sick, or did he break up with you because you wouldn't go to his house and let him take care of you?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the reason.
So this guy sucks. That's kind of, we all know, like that's not really what you're calling for, but we know that, right? But when he reminds me, like, listen, and if I was trying to like empathize with him, he's just what he really is incredibly immature, emotionally, yeah. And so he's doing things like, so a lot of us do earlier on, maybe not at 25, more like 18, right? Where we do things because we think this is what love means. Like when you're younger, like, I'm going to take care of the person I love. And he's not, and you didn't let him do that. So he felt like, well, that's what, when we're in love, this is what we should do. He's decided all these things that he thinks mean to be in love. Right. And so, and when it doesn't happen, when you disappoint him, he's shaming you and or breaking up with you or threatening you. all of which of like, none of those things mean anything about love. But what doesn't mean love is like the shaming. And what you don't do when you're in love is make someone feel guilty for hanging out with their family or not doing things and not meeting your expectations.
Horrible.
That's not love, right? And then how he communicates him, you know, it's like what he doesn't, there's nothing worse than dating someone that you are afraid to disappoint. Because of how they react to
that's
disappointment.
what prevents you from being honest.
Yeah.
I kind of understand why you were, because you could take, if you take his side, play devil's advocate and say, well, she didn't let him know that she went. But it's like, you shouldn't be afraid to be honest with him and be like, look, I'm going, you just said it to us. Yeah. You shouldn't.
Exactly.
I've been in like, I think we've all been, this is going to sound, I hope it doesn't sound condescending, but when I hear things like that, Chrissy, I just look back at some of the things I've been through when I was your age. And I wish I could go back and just know what I know now. And if I could, I think you did great. Like we could communicate to you, like life is just it's too short to like put up with people like that. It's sucking your energy, and you have great energy, and it's a great time in life to be 25.
Yeah. God. And in fairness to him, I've done stuff like that to girls I've dated. I've had that done to me, right? Some of it is a lot of it is immaturity. 25, I feel like he shouldn't be this toxic about it.
Yeah.
It's pretty drastic.
It's very juvenile.
It's like what you would do at a 16-year-old. You'd be like, hey, buddy, you're 16, so you don't know this yet, but you're being a dick.
Yeah.
You know?
Or acting like a toddler. I think about my nephew. He's 3. He does stuff like, they just act out. There's something very nakedly obvious about how he's behaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because I'm his like first girlfriend, and 2.5 years ago, I went into it having a feeling, you know, maybe from some encounters or first impressions, you kind of figure it out, but then you're like, oh, look, it's not going to happen to me. And then next thing you know, you're 2 years in and you're like, oh no. But so like the thing is that this is where I'm at, because on Monday, he gave me a call. He was like, it's over. And
good. Take him up on it.
So I went over to his house, to basically with his stuff in my bag. I was really pissed. I like threw his clothes, like basically I was just like, I'm done, like threw his necklace, like the necklace he gave me, whatever, and the ring. And I like marched off and blocked him. And I called the Uber was in front of me, and I was like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be petty. And I unblocked him just to see what he would write. And I ended up coming back to argue more. And then he ended up driving me home, and we kind of left off like not at a good place, because now he wants me for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
Oh, lucky you. Yeah. You know,
spend it with him.
Can I ask
what
you
about Arbor Day? Is he planning that far ahead?
Well, I can ask you a question. When was the last time you felt like an interaction with your boyfriend brought out the best in you? Like, where you felt good?
That's a really good question. I feel like I'm the worst. This Monday, I was not proud of myself.
Yeah. So like you're doing things you said, like I felt petty, and I get it. He knows how to push your buttons. And in the problem, you're stuck in this situation. He's doing just enough to make you feel like you can work through it. You know, we all make that problem. The fixer, like, oh, you know, like you can empathize with him. It's addictive. Yeah.
You're addicted to that because it's also passion. When you get angry, that's a form of passion. So your brain gets tricked into thinking, oh my God, it feels a little bit like love. It's so close. It's like love's neighbor. You know, it's a similar kind of chemical, that concoction, but don't get fooled by it.
So then what do I tell myself, like, in that moment? Like, what do I do to just get in the Uber?
You just have to accept, right? It's just about acceptance, right? You just have to accept that you can care about him, you can love him, you can wish him the best, but he's not your guy.
You can't change him.
And you can't change him, and you have to let it go, right? Because what you have is hope for him. You tell yourself things like, well, he means well, and I know he's a good person, and those all might be true, but you're never going to be, he'll never see the light, and he'll never mature. He needs to jumpstart his maturity, you know, like he needs to fast forward, and it's never going to happen in a relationship. Certainly not with you.
I know it's so hard because you've invested, I know the thought process, like you've invested so much time, but if you can take it from two old middle-aged men that there's so much time left. Like you have an abundance of time.
Yes.
And I promise you're going to look back a year, maybe 2 years from now and just be so grateful that you got out of it. I promise you. I know it's so hard to see and just know that the only person you can control is yourself. So like you were complicit, or it's when you do things like I unblocked him. I wanted to see what he would say. That's your ego. That's your stuff that you have to control. You have to fight that urge, because I get it. That's a powerful urge to like, you know this person so well and you want to know what they want to say and you want to keep fighting too, because you're addicted to that. Like you have your own kind of toxic relationship with him and your own part that you played, which is fine. You just have to explore it and like be strong. Maybe talk to somebody and talk to friends. Whenever you have that urge to like unblock him and to engage with him, just do it with friends. Just do I like doing like a role playing with friends. Like, I wonder what would happen if I do this. And you know, if your friends are patient, they'll you don't want to exhaust their patience with it, but I bet they'll be there for you.
So like let's say like, okay, so because I don't see us going through like Thanksgiving at all. Like I don't see us.
I don't see you going through Thursday.
I don't see each other. I don't see us going through the weekend.
Yeah. But all jokes aside, I think this is a great time for you to end the relationship.
Totally.
Right? Because the holidays are coming up, and because it will be hard for you. You're going to be sad. Like Thanksgiving will be the day where like, oh, God, it would have been nice to have him here, and Christmas. But if you can get through it, you get to New Year's Eve, and you'll survive it. We know you will. Yeah. Despite some like moments of like loneliness and sadness, you'll feel come January, you'll be over it.
Here's what'll surprise you. You'll have moments, in fact, where you'll be like, you'll catch yourself enjoying yourself and not feeling shame and just being with your family, people who support you, and you'll catch yourself and you'll be, and that part of your brain that needs to fight and engage will be like, oh, wait a minute, but I miss him. But you don't. You just miss the toxicity. You're
toxic
addicted to
stimulation.
Yeah, it's addictive.
And every time you feel lonely, to Justin's point, just be like, you know what I'm really happy I'm not doing right now? Explaining myself.
Yes.
I'm not having to like justify normalcy.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm hanging out with my uncle and not feeling weird that I haven't texted him, and knowing that there's a thing coming, and that feeling of like, oh, this is fun, but you're just going to be like, this is fun.
This is fun.
Period.
Yeah.
And then really remember to enjoy those moments.
Yes.
Like, wow, this is fun.
It's rare. Yeah. It shouldn't be rare, but it's life is so beautiful that way that you get to have those.
All right.
I agree.
Well, it sounds like your head's in the right space.
Yeah.
You know where you're at. You just got to do it, and you can feel good about it and have a great holiday guilt-free.
Yeah. Shame-free holiday.
Yeah. I agree.
Shame-free holidays.
Okay. Well,
Might be the title of this episode.
2021.
Yeah, they should all be.
Their year.
All right. Take care. How's it going?
I'm good.
What's your name?
My name's Vanessa.
How old are you, Vanessa?
I am 31.
All right. How can we help?
So I have been in a relationship for 9 months.
Okay.
And as of 3 weeks ago, we just stopped talking. I'm not really sure who ghosted who or what exactly happened. All I know is that he hasn't reached out. I haven't reached out, and we just are not speaking right now.
Weird. What precipitated that? Was there any event?
Yeah, so we got into a small fight about something really stupid. He was kind of pulling back, and then I just let him pull back. I wanted to see if he would come back. He didn't. And that was kind of it.
Can I ask you something, Vanessa? This is Grantham. I'm 23. And I was Justin. 42. Had he been kind of like, up until that, had he been acting a little bit differently, not quite as affectionate, maybe not texting with as much regularity? Had he been kind of pulling back subtly?
So a little bit. I mean, we've gone in our 9-month relationship, we had 2 separate breakups. And I feel like after each breakup, it kind of was just like pulling back a little bit more. But I will say he's like always been super attentive. Like he's been really great about like calling and FaceTimes, and we hang out so like multiple times a week.
What was the
but
root?
I feel like
Sorry. What was the cause of those breakups?
he would get mad when I would go out with my friends. He doesn't really like doing things. I tried planning like a trip for us to just like go for a drive somewhere after being quarantined for so long. And he just didn't want to do any of those things. And he's very happy sitting on his couch and doing nothing. And don't get me wrong, I love those nights. They're so fun.
Yeah.
But I also need to
You're also not
do
a
something.
yeah.
So minus trying to
sloth.
figure out why he's not calling you. I'm actually curious. A, two questions for you. Why don't you call him? And B, why, if any reason, would you want to continue to try to make this relationship work?
Right.
I didn't reach out to him because I don't want to chase him. Like I
great.
said, I'm 31.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point in my life, like I need to be with someone who wants to be with me.
Totally.
Like I can't. I could do the dance of, you know, chasing after him and saying, let's do this, please take me
smart.
back or whatever. Like, let's try and make things work. But I don't know. I guess the reason I didn't reach out is because I wanted to see if he would come to me.
Okay.
And he hasn't.
That makes sense. But my only concern for that situation, it's like, it's great that you wanted to be chased, but like, why did you want him to chase you?
Right.
Because if he's like, oh, babe, Vanessa, I love you and I'm chasing you. I just want you to know how much I want to be with you and how much you mean to me on my couch. And by the way, I hate it when you go out and have fun with your friends anytime. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that what you want? You know, because you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that I've had some doubts. And I wasn't sure if I was just being crazy. Maybe I was just looking too much into things. So I just wanted to see, like, if I did pull back, would he come to me? And
Like
if
testing
not,
the
like
waters?
maybe
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's a
I was
little-
testing the waters. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little gameplay on your part, but I think that I think it's a huge red flag in any relationship. Unless he has a legitimate reason for like not liking your friends or something like
Right.
that. But I think it's a real red flag where someone's doesn't let you have your independence and has a problem with you kind of having your own hobbies and you having your own friends. I mean, there's variables to that. You know what I'm saying? Like he could come back and be like, oh, well, I don't know. But like short of some weird reasons, like you should have friends, like, and you should be able to have your girls' night on a somewhat regular basis, you
Especially
know?
as you continue in the relationship, it's going to be that much more important.
Yeah.
Did he offer a reason why? Did he rationalize why wouldn't he want you to hang out with your friends?
I honestly have no idea. I think he might get a little insecure. I think that the friends that I'm going out with happen to all be single. So maybe he gets a little insecure in that sense. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've asked him so many times to like come out with us. My friends always, you know, want him to be around. My friends want the best for me. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this sounds like a guy who there was a lot of things you liked about him, you know, and it was nice while it lasted, but this has only been 9 months, right? There's too much you don't like about him and just your compatibility. To me, this is like you guys just aren't compatible.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of the shit or get off the pot time? Isn't don't they say like 9-10 months is like when the chemicals start to kind of fade? I don't know.
I guess
it
I don't know,
depends.
but that would make sense.
Yeah. So like it just maybe from his point of view too. Maybe that's why it's easier for him at this point to pull back because he's like, maybe he's not as into it either. It sounds like a good time to move on to me. Like 9 months is not that long to have invested.
But yeah, I mean, but I guess what I'm just trying to drive home the point is because he hasn't called, I'm concerned for you to have most of your thoughts and energy trying to figure out why he hasn't called you and then have that kind of fuck with your ego.
Right.
And have you try to like, and then so if he does get bored enough,
which he will probably,
and he does reach out, that will just feed your ego so much that you will be inclined to want to listen and ignore the fact that he didn't like you hanging out with your friends or wouldn't go out with you and your friends and just wasn't kind of as adventurous as you are. And that's fine if he's more of a homebody. No shame to homebodies. that's
Respect.
not who you are.
Yeah.
And do you like, this has been 9 months. He's only going to get more lazy and more comfortable and more kind of into like the way he wants to do things. He's not going to get more adventurous, right? And that to me seems more of the bigger issue as far as you're concerned with this guy. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to fall victim to him doing the chasing, and he chases you and he makes you feel wanted only for you to realize, well, now you've chased me.
Yeah, and now I'm 32. You know, the thing, Vanessa, you said about being 31 and knowing that you don't want to play games, you don't want to do this dance, I think is how you put it. I would apply that to other aspects of this relationship. Like Nick said, I would apply that mindset to, you know, him in this relationship in its entirety, not just certain aspects of it.
Yeah, I think that, Nick, you said it earlier, like there were so many parts that were so great. And prior to this relationship, I'd been single for 7 years.
Okay.
That's
important, right? And so you recognize that it was just nice to like.
I thought I had a drought.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It was nice to, I know it's crazy, but
you must know.
Yeah, exactly. It was nice.
What did you like about him? What was good? Just to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, like I said, he was so attentive. Like there were no games in the beginning. It was just he was like, I am all into you. And he wanted to hang out all the time. And in the past, like I've kind of picked up from guys when they're like not so interested, and then I kind of pull back. But with this, like he was all in from the beginning, and then quarantine hit and we hung out, you know, every single day. So it was great in the beginning, but I think that you're right that now that we're at this like 9-10 month mark, it's, you know, you're starting to see the real person.
Yeah. What he really likes, what he likes to do for fun. And
what you really like, what you really want. I mean, the chemicals are nice and fun and you touch each other and that's nice, but you know, they fade, that wears off.
It's only going to get more exhausting for you guys to get frustrated at each other for things that you just have a difference in opinion in terms of like your resting state, so to speak, you know? And he's more of a homebody. You're a little bit more outgoing and adventurous. And it's just like, it's just going to be a drag to be like, oh God, just come on, man. You know? And
also the insecurity of not wanting her to be with her friends.
Totally.
Like
that's a weird thing. And because you had the gap in your dating life, you're giving this relationship a little bit too much. You're hanging on to something that, you know, you had the enjoyment, but just because
putting too much stock in it.
I don't know, like this gap that you had, do you feel like it was just, I mean, I'm assuming a lot of it had to do with the fact that you just didn't connect and you didn't like a lot of the other guys you went on dates with.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit picky. I think I need to have like a lot in common with someone. I think I was doing the whole app thing and sometimes that doesn't really work out. I don't know. There were just like a lot of so now I'm just nervous. Like,
but I'm just saying, don't let that don't let that discourage you from getting back out there. It might not take. It probably won't take another 7 years. I'm pretty confident. And also like maybe you don't know. Like you're 31 now. Like 24. I think it's a great time to be single. 24 to 30. I mean, you did it right.
I wish I.
You know.
Yeah.
I was. It sounds like I was a monogamous person in my 20s.
Me too.
And I did it wrong in a sense.
Yeah, it's time to explore.
So you're only 31.
And I feel like it's better to do it now while I still have some single friends before that.
That's a great point, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
All your friends are single. You gotta. It's much harder, you know. And not that you
take it from me, Vanessa.
Your friends are going out. You know, you have reason. Like, just you can swap stories, maybe even boyfriend. I mean, I'm just kidding. But, but yes,
get freaky, get open.
It makes it easier to have single friends, and then you never know. Like, you meet their friend, and you end up dating their friend, and you know that's how you meet your next guy. It's easier to meet people when you have single friends. There's just things like that. So
you got plenty of time.
Don't waste that time.
Yeah.
I think. This relationship's over anyways, but like, I think the big thing is your state of mind, right? Don't let the fact that he hasn't called you have you like cannibalize your energy and thought process
That's a good point.
just because you haven't heard from him.
That's a good point.
You know, So like, just be okay with the fact that like he made it easy for you. The alternative is you realizing he's not your guy, and now you have to go through this awkward breakup and like hurt his feelings and see him cry.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to do that.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
your ego's a little pissed right now because your ego's like, what the fuck? You're amazing. Why hasn't he chased you? And you don't really want him to chase
But
you.
Vanessa, who goes out with her friends and has fun and is herself, she's fine. She's in a good place. Take a vacation.
She's in a good place. She's in a good place 80% of the time, but I think
It's pretty good.
the other 20.
Fine. But that
Yeah,
20% will get
I'll be
less and
honest.
less the more time you get away from this
Right.
guy.
Listen, no one
Right.
likes to have someone they care about feel indifferent about them. It's the worst,
course,
right?
yeah.
And the fact that he
Exactly.
hasn't called you and he hasn't reached out, it's just fucking with your ego.
Yeah.
But you haven't
Totally.
think of all the things, like you have all these reasons why you haven't reached out to him. And you like he could just because he's the guy doesn't mean he can't be thinking the exact same thing. Well, she hasn't reached out to
Right.
me, right? You know. So that's just justification for your ego. The important thing is that even if he did call, you'd still have the same problem that you had before, which
Right.
is you guys just might not be that compatible.
There's a reason why people play those shitty games because they work. Those games work. That psychologically, they're really powerful when you don't hear from someone, and it creates this false sense that you like them more than you really do. But remember, like how you felt when he was getting shitty when you were out with your friends. Remember, like how he made you feel like you couldn't really be present with your friends. It's the worst.
It's the worst.
No one should. You shouldn't have to. You're 31. You shouldn't have to go through that shit with your partner, with somebody who you're in love with. It's bullshit.
You're gonna be okay, Vanessa. Do not reach out to him. And I think you should block him. Block him because then you don't give him a chance to reach out to you. You know,
Yeah, what's he going to say at this point? Is he going to, short of apologizing for his insecurities, short of like explaining his absence and his like the games he's playing, and short of really being like honest and like impressively honest and like saying something that may kind of, I don't see this guy doing that. And so why give him the chance to do anything less than that, which is what he'll do.
And then keep in mind, back to, even if he does, you're still back to the original problem is he doesn't like you hanging out with his friends.
That's
your
a
friends.
huge issue. Yeah.
You know?
That's a maybe insurmountable issue. And it speaks volumes about how he'll behave in the future if you guys end up, making a go of things.
Yeah, I think on top of that, he doesn't like me hanging out with my friends. I think sometimes he's okay with it. Normally, he gives me like attitude for like 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, "This is just
So the best case scenario is
silly."
a petulant boy who like, fine, hang out. It was like,
He got over me hanging out with my
Yeah.
friends who I love after like 24 hours. He's really evolving.
yeah.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
insane. That's
But
crazy. Unless
I
your
think
friends are all
I was
assholes.
also kind of like, yeah, I think I was also kind of upset and like a little insecure that he never like invited me to his family dinners. He didn't do like any of that kind of
That's
stuff where
your-
I was like, oh, I really,
That's what you need to be focusing on right now, Vanessa.
Why? Yeah.
In your notes, your only thing you're writing, if anything, is what you want for your next guy, right? And
And read about it. Maybe treat it clinically. Like read about the ego. Read Freud and like how he's separate. Read what the ego, how compelling it is, and how to divorce yourself from it. Like Nick was saying, it might help to treat it like a little bit more clinically.
yeah. I would say one thing I did listen to, Nick, was your attachment styles podcast. And I think through that, like I learned that he's like completely avoidant. Like he just wants to shut down and like not do anything. And I am a little bit more anxious. So when he shuts down, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
but then I end up becoming a little bit more avoidant.
that's great to understand it, but don't let that be an excuse to be like, well, now I understand it. Now I can fix it. Right.
yeah.
So like, just be careful there. Like understanding
Yeah.
him isn't a like, oh, now I can make it. Like
You can't change him.
Doesn't-
Just work on yourself now.
that doesn't make it okay to not want you to hang out with his friends. Your friends, rather. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think it's just there's a lot of ego going on for you, and then the 7-year gap I think is playing a big role in why you're hanging on to this a little bit more than you otherwise should. But I think the sooner you do, the sooner you can get back out there and have some fun dates.
Okay.
All right.
So it's over.
It's definitely over. And you should be happy about that.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, don't mourn it. Don't give him any more time. Don't give it any more energy.
Yeah.
Put that energy into like cultivating other relationships and the ones that you already have with your friends.
So it sounds make a long list of all the things he wasn't doing that are really normal things.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are basic.
Yeah.
Those are 101 relationship 101s. Just be psyched when your partner goes out with their friends and has a good time. That's like a 101. That's basic. That's like
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you.
yeah.
All right.
Well, nice talking to you, Vanessa.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you.
All right. Happy holidays.
You too.
Bye-bye. How's it going?
Hi, it's going good. My name is Emily, and I'm 27.
Hi, Emily. How can we help?
Oh, thanks. Okay, so basically, like, my childhood best friend moved away for like 8 years, and she just moved back, and we've like kept in touch, but like not really, like just like a few times a year talking. But she moved back, and we've been like hanging out a lot, like every day, seeing each other all the time. And I've like noticed that I've been like feeling like stronger feelings towards her than I would feel like towards my other friends. And basically I've like never felt that before. Like I've always thought I was like into guys. And I've been like freaking out and like Googling how people know they're bisexual. And it says that if you Google that, then you probably are.
Oh, that's funny. That's so exciting, first of all. You seem like such a warm, nice person. You seem like such a right. Like it's weird. Just even through like a screen, you have such a great energy. I'm so excited for you. You seem like you've discovered, you unlocked something. Like there's a giddiness about you that just seems like it comes only with like maybe finding maybe love. Maybe you found somebody that's could be a partner. It's exciting.
She just got out of like a 6-year relationship, and so
You did or she did?
No, she did.
Oh, what was the name of her girlfriend?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was with a guy.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
But she does like, she is like out as.
Oh, she
like,
is.
She likes girls.
She has. Okay.
Okay, that's half the battle right there. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
But basically, I just like been freaking out, and I like don't know if I should tell her or like how to tell her or like what to do.
This is heavy duty.
You wrote in. You mentioned that you kind of had a night together where there was some affection shown. That was maybe
so
more than just.
we got really drunk one night, and like she did say that she was like attracted to me.
Great.
This is
and like
fantastic.
I thought,
I'm trying to. Where's the? What's
but I just like.
You've never done. Yeah. It must be strange.
Well, I'm terrified. I haven't like told anyone.
Sure.
And I like don't know like if I should tell her because she just got out of a relationship, and I like don't know if like I don't want to like put pressure on her. I guess.
How long ago did she get out of this thing?
Like a month and a half ago.
Doesn't matter. She probably knew for a while toward the end. It's not like the day before she got out of it, she was like in love with this guy. I'm sure it was like a slow.
And also like how is she in general? Is she, is she like sulking, coming to you for advice? Does she want to talk? Does she ever want to talk about her past relationship with you?
Does she seem wounded?
Every once in a while she says that she'll just like get kind of sad, and I actually told her about the breakup book thing.
Oh, did you?
So so she did
these
that.
Things where we just like, there are these sayings I've done. And it's a book where I'm just like, you're just supposed to write things. That you just couldn't stand about your boyfriend or girlfriend.
That's
because people have a way of kind of being like, I miss Sunday.
Oh my God. I forget all of the stuff. Yeah, I know.
And you forget all the bad stuff.
You
so you get a book and it's just the breakup book of why.
So smart. So I record a lot. I do a lot of voice.
But I don't think that she like misses him like all the time or anything.
But I'm curious
like,
specifically. Other than saying she's sad, but does she come to you to want to talk about him?
No.
Great. You know what I'm saying? Because like with the friend, I've like if I'm sad, every time I'd break up with a girlfriend and I was sad, whether I got broken up with or I broke up with her, that were women friends I had that I wanted to talk about them. I wanted to talk about the relationship, and you know what? I never had for those women I want to talk about. I never had feelings for those women I wanted to talk about my exes with. Yeah. They were just there so I could vent. The fact that she doesn't want to talk about him with you is a good sign.
Yeah, that's true. There weren't sexual or romantic feelings. Yeah.
She is talking about him, if she's talking about him at all, with someone else. And the fact that she's not with you, it doesn't mean she's in love with you. It definitely means that it's possible.
She's put you in a category where there's the potential for romance.
Yeah. Otherwise, she would.
Yeah.
And she also, so that's when I'm saying there's two answers to that question. Either she's over it and ready to date because you have a concern whether is it too soon. And even if she's not, what she isn't is she's separating you from like having to hear about the ex and so that it's weird for you. She's keeping that separate. And people do that subconsciously with people like they want to keep their options open with. Your concern, it sounds like, really is just like old fashioned, does the person I like me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
It's a great problem to have. It's scary.
As far as you said you were Googling things, I don't think you need to put a label on anything, whatever.
Okay.
It's kind of just go after the whoever it is that you're attracted to.
And sexual attraction often will follow a deeper friendship attraction, I think. I mean, I would imagine if you're like blush. I mean, I don't know what color you normally are, but it seems to me like you have the kind of rouge color of someone who's got butterflies, has all those fun feelings of like being.
She's
someone.
backlit, and we're seeing this.
Yes, yeah.
Question: when you guys got drunk, was there any kissing, or was it just cuddling and talking, or like what? How many bases did?
Yeah, we just like cuddled and talked, and like I think she was maybe going. I was just like freaking out.
Do you think there's any chance that she's already out as bisexual?
Yeah.
Have you even had a conversation with her? So as far as she's concerned, she might think you're just totally straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you think after that experience, the way you are behaving now, the way you're glowing now, I would imagine you had a similar energy when that night that you were cuddling and sharing feelings. I would imagine you got a sense that it's so palpable. I can see it. It's like emanating through the screen. She must have felt that. There must have been a chemical thing going on.
What did you guys, after it ended, you guys sobered up, was there acknowledgement to what felt to be a little bit different?
Right, was it like, so anyway?
No.
Huh.
How long ago was that?
Like a week ago.
And have you hung out since?
She's been out of town. She gets back today.
She does. Ask her out to dinner. Invite her over to dinner. Hey, I want to cook you dinner. Watch a movie, drink some wine, and just see if it can happen organically. Be like a bachelor producer, right? When people ask me, is it real or is it fake? Stage the environment you want. They're really good at staging the environment and creating an atmosphere that promotes love.
Right.
Do that, right? Invite her over for dinner.
But eat the food.
Bring some
they don't
wine.
eat the food on Bachelor.
Definitely eat the food.
Yeah.
And get her, and then see where it goes. It may not go anywhere. It may go somewhere, but create the environment you want and see if recreate that night, right? But step it up a little bit.
And if you see a bottle of champagne lying around, make sure it doesn't belong to somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you are going to drink it, don't shake it up first. Who is that?
Good call, yeah.
Hannah
Ann.
Kelsey.
Poor Hannah Ann got so much shit for that.
She did. She's the sweetest person.
She's such a sweet little. It was just like a champagne bottle. Kelsey,
that's what I think you should do. Like, do you cook? Do you cook?
Yeah.
Hey, I want to make you dinner. Do you want to come over tonight and watch Netflix? A little Netflix and chill. You have some wine and then see where it goes. Drink a little bit, start talking, put on a movie that you guys have both seen that you don't have to pay attention to.
Comfort movie.
Yeah.
That makes you feel good.
You never want to see that, like, don't watch The Undoing on HBO Max, which you're really sucked in, you haven't seen, because you'll pay attention to that. You don't want to do that.
The Wire.
Yeah. Something that you've both seen that you like, you can re-engage your attention to the movie and know what's going on. And that way you can focus on each other. It's not even about the movie. It's just on. It's an excuse to like hold hands and make out.
Watch The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Watch people like struggling with the thing that you've already found. Make you feel that's empowering. You know what's interesting? Like I get the sense of, I can sense that your fear, like it's a good fear. It's like an excited, because there's such a strong foundation, and it's like, God forbid you make that move and it doesn't work out. It's like now you're jeopardizing potentially this great friendship. But what do they say? Like it's worth the chance. Love. It's love. It's the ultimate. It's worth the chance, I think. Seems like you really like know it.
Yeah.
Seems like it's like.
You seem very excited.
Yeah, I do. Like I've like never felt like this about any guy, and like
that's great.
That's
great. Is part of it like? Is wondering about the mechanics and stuff, and like that's how I would be. Like, just how do I express it physically? Because like I've never done it. Like,
as far as that goes, I don't know. I'd feel like it would just
Come naturally, probably, if you like somebody.
Yeah, just
I
just treat it like a human.
We can't speak
I don't
to
know.
that. Obviously.
Just throw it out.
There's no way we can mansplain the benefits of lesbian intercourse. Well, let me tell you. But it's exciting. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool. What do you do, Emily? Well, you don't want to say that.
Oh, I'm a CPA.
Oh,
great.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it's a very rational, very pragmatic, probably.
When you get off the phone with us, shoot her a text, ask her what she's doing.
I will.
FaceTime her. Let her see your color.
Yeah.
Let her see how she's affected you. It's so nice. You get to express that. It's nice.
Yeah, see it and then see it. Like, ask her you want to hang out? Do you want to date? Can I cook you dinner?
Do you want to date? You just said, do you want to date?
Maybe don't say that. I don't know.
Do you want to go study?
Your excitement has like echoed through, and now I'm just like,
you're like
I Freudian slipped from your excitement.
Do you want to get married?
I will.
do you want to have a?
How do you think with kids?
Do you want to have a life together? I mean, a dinner together. A dinner together. That's exciting. And your dad, like, it's nice that you have that. It's not those. It's nice that people are progressing. I mean, and the Catholics are progressing, because I know my parents would be like, they ultimately want my happiness. I'm sure your parents are the same. So your dad is going to be psyched to see you happy, I bet.
All right, Emily. Well, best of luck. Justin, this has been an absolute blast.
This is the best. So fun. So fun.
I'm not surprised, but you're really good at this.
As are you. God, this is fun.
And it was a delight, and I'm sure all the people listening had a ton of fun.
I hope. It was really, I know selfishly I enjoyed it. So
you are welcome back to this anytime.
You know I'll come.
Don't forget to send in your questions at asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K. We appreciate you listening. Make sure to check out Justin's podcast, Life is Short with Justin Long. He has a lot of great episodes, so go check him out. Subscribe, rate us 5 stars, all that fun stuff. And other than that, we will see you tomorrow.